Hey guys, welcome to this week's semi-live. It is June 27th here in Iowa. Doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be heading out on the water. We're going to be doing a little whitetail scouting this week on public land. Going to be heading out here shortly. Me, Ross, and Chuck. And we're going to go check out a couple spots that I've had pins on Onyx the last couple years, and this year is the first year I've been able to get a boat down here, so we're gonna go check it out today. Hopefully find a couple spots where we can potentially hunt this fall, maybe get a couple cameras out as well. So we got, I think, 3 or 4 Moultrie cameras in here, and I feel like these are in areas that we should be able to get away from some people. They're a little bit tougher to access, so pretty excited to see what they look like. But we're gonna head out here. It's supposed to get hot today. So hopefully we can beat the heat and get all the scouting done before it gets too warm. So let's go check it out. We had some technical difficulties to start the day. Brand new motor, got it from Jim. Hasn't been ran in a couple of years, so I think it was just trying to work the kinks out. But we sweet talked it, got her going now. We just got to the first spot here. Spot I actually hunted muzzleloader season last year. When we hunted it late season, we came from the road, but I wanted to find an access point here to hunt it in the fall, especially getting in the mornings. So we came from the water to the north, and we found out halfway here that we found another boat landing that's actually closer, so which is good. I mean, we'll know for future reference, but it kind of sucks because we ended up boating probably another couple miles further than what we had to. But we're gonna walk up in here, check it out. There's where I shot my buck. I kind of want to look and find a spot to put a camera up in here. It's just a good funnel. I think it'll be for hunting during the rut especially. So we shouldn't have too far to walk, just a couple hundred yards, and we'll be right up in there. Little buck, right where we're going. You were up in that tree over there, but it'd be nice to find. It wasn't really the most ideal tree to be in, especially for hunting on with a bow. I mean, you could get in this one, but you'd be right on their trail. We just got the camera set up here. Made a little bit of a mock scrape, and we're gonna head out of here. First spot's done. Kind of looking around here for tree options. There's not a ton of options here for trees. When we hunted this late muzzleloader, we got in. There's a little tree up there, right along the field edge. It's probably about 25 yard shot from here. But I think, I mean, you could bow hunt out of it, but it's not the most ideal setup. I guess that'd be the best way to put it. There's a nice tree here about 10 yards off the trail, which is a little closer than I'd like to be. But as far as shooting, you'd have good shooting, and it just everything would be close. But I think there's a huge, is this a basswood? I think it's a basswood, right next to us here. That if they're coming down this main trail, you'd have a little bit of cover at least to draw before they step out in front of you. So I think we'll probably go that route. The cool thing about this spot is we can access from the field in the afternoons or in the mornings. We can come up from the water down through the bottom and up this ditch and come right into the tree. So we got pretty much an access for morning and afternoon hunts. And I think this will be a pretty solid spot. Had some solid bucks in here late season last year, and I didn't really see a ton of people pressure in here, which kind of surprised me. But we're all done at this spot. We're gonna head back to the boat. The second spot we're gonna go to is probably about a half mile, 3/4 mile south of us here. And this is actually a spot that I checked out in January, and it should be all pretty much ready to go. I got a stand picked out where I want to sit in, and I actually brought in a vine and set it up here back in January, so maybe just freshen that up and put a camera on it. But that'll be pretty much it for these two spots, and then we're gonna go check out kind of some new areas, see what we can find today from the boat. We're just getting to the second spot here. Shouldn't be too far of a walk. I think it's only maybe 100, 125 yards right off the water here. But this is gonna be, I think, an awesome spot. We'll go check it out. Just got in here, second spot. This vine I actually brought in January, hung up, and just refreshened it up here. But I got a tree about 20 yards from the stand here, straight, it'd be west. So we can pretty much play this. Anything with a north wind, east wind, southwest wind, as long as it don't blow west or southwest or straight west, we should be fine. But it's a cool, kind of a cool corner here. We got a fence line corner right here. This is private up here. This whole hill where this wraps around is public. There's some ag off to the northeast of us. Last year it was beans. Looks like it's beans again this year. But there's like a little grass opening here too, so if something comes from the north, if they're running along this edge, you should see them coming from a ways away. But I'd imagine most of these deer are gonna come wrap this corner, come up in here. When I walked up in here shed hunting, it looked like up on this knob would be decent bedding, but it's just an awesome spot for access. We can come in from the water. We'll cut a lot of our travel getting in here. If we had to come from the road, I mean, we'd be hiking a good mile plus to get to this spot. Plus you'd be going through a lot of bedding on the way in. So we're gonna just slap a camera up here and leave it be. Really ain't really much to do in this spot. The tree we got picked out, it's clear shooting right to the vine and right to where this trail comes through, so don't have to worry about anything. It's pretty much hunt ready as it is right now. Just putting the camera up and seeing what's going to be in here in the next few months, but that's really all we got to do at this spot. All right, we just got the main two spots done I was gonna try and get to today. We're gonna hop in the boat. There's a slough that goes up to the west here. And And there's 2 fingers I wanted to check out. They are about a couple miles from here. Hopefully the boat gets us there. Otherwise it'll be a long paddle back. But just wanted to get into those spots because they're really water access only unless you have permission from the private. So I don't see a lot of people getting into them. But we're gonna go run up in there and check them out. Your buddy that films with us, he's an engineer at Merck.
Really? You think he made this one?
Probably. This is not good. We are the furthest away from the boat launch. Just filled up with gas. Can't get the motor started now. This is not good. I'm about 100 pulls in. Still can't get it started. Getting blisters on my hands. Might have to bring Ricky up here to bring the muscle in here to see if we can get her going. Attaboy, Ricky. I knew you could do it, Rick. There's no roads going into any of this. So the water's really the only way you can get in here.
Yeah, it's like a little peninsula too.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about being down in here is that your wind's gonna probably swirl, but
Yeah.
what do you do? There's so many trails that cross here, like this would be probably the best bet. I would think any deer that's bedding off that way is probably going to come up through here somewhere to go to the egg fields. We just finished up our last spot here. The spot before, decided to not put a camera out in. We're gonna, I think I eventually will. I only had 3 cameras, and I had a feeling that this spot was gonna be a little bit better for setting up. And we come in here, we followed this ditch up. This ditch follows all the way up to egg fields. There's corn up here and to the north and the egg on the private. We're about 40, 50 yards off the private line here, but this is a cool spot too because there's no real road access in here. The only way you can hunt it is basically coming in here by boat. So we got up in here, and right at the very end, it was pretty thick. We weren't really seeing a lot of sign initially, but right when we got up to the egg fields, it opens up here the last like 50, 60 yards. And there's probably like 2 or 3 trails that cross right down through this ditch. And there's plenty of really good trees to set up in. So that was kind of a plus. There's probably half a dozen trees you could really get up in. But one in particular that'd be perfect right here that shoot this trail at about 15 yards. And we can blow a north wind right out the gut of this draw. I think most of the deer are gonna be bedding up here to the west or bedding up here to the east. So that's pretty much the gist of our scouting here. We got 3 cameras out. Probably get some more out here in the next few weeks, but most of the other spots that I'll be putting cameras out are public spots that I've put cameras out in the last couple of years. So this is kind of mainly some of the newer stuff I've been scouting. There's some stuff further to the north up here on the lake I want to check out at some point, but we'll do that shortly. We gotta make sure the boat motor's working fine before we come back out again. I'm hoping we can get it started and get back without any issues, but I'm excited for this one. I think we'll get something good on camera here. Hopefully we can get this bad boy started 1 pull. I don't think the odds are that good. Well, it only took an hour, but we made it back. It was a little iffy there about halfway, but we made it. That's all that matters. We got some boat motor work to do though before we try this again. We just got back to the landing and are pulling out right now. It's a little after 2 o'clock. It's hot. It says it's in the 80s, but it feels hotter than that. But it was a pretty productive day. We got 3 cameras out, checked the 4th spot, and we'll probably come back at some point and get a camera out there as well. But had some technical difficulties with the boat, but we're gonna get that figured out before we come back out again. But just wanted to use today kind of as a trial run for it and make sure by the fall everything's tuned up and we're in good shape. But as for the next time we go in there, it'll probably be September sometime when it's hopefully not as warm, but pretty productive. I mean, we got a few spots picked out here on public on the lake, and we got probably half a dozen or more spots that we'll in the next few weeks put some cameras out on too. So summer's moving along fast. But thanks for watching this week's Semi Live, and we'll check you guys out in the next video here.